spastically infatuated with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. Now keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
Doing great. How's it going, West? Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Cheers.
I was muted that whole time. They only heard you. Okay, so.
You were muted?
Oh. I was muted during the whole thing. Okay, so we're live. I'm Wes. This is Steve. And, man, technical issues. I'm glad they didn't happen last week. They're happening this week. Sorry, Steve.
No worries, man.
So.
He just fixed it.
Okay.
My wife was just telling us that there's no audio.
Oh, no. Well, I'm glad she's watching.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hilarious.
He's got our back.
So I do another live stream on Wednesdays. We focus on like business and stuff like that. And there's always something wrong. Almost every single time, there's something wrong, and we have to fix it on the fly. And so this is par for the course, just the joys of live streaming. But
Absolutely.
but Steve, thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, heck yeah, man. I've been excited to do this and chat with you and honestly learn some more about the pipe hobby. I'm having a blast.
Oh, totally.
So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm smoking my my Meerschaum from MBSD Meerschaum because that's actually how you and I became friends. You actually won a Meerschaum pipe from MBSD on one of my giveaways. How do you like that pipe so far?
Love it. There it is.
Yeah, that is a cool. It's it has the claw. That's awesome.
Can you see it? I don't know. It might be washed out.
It's washed out a little bit, but no, it looks good. It looks good.
Yeah, love it, man. It's beautiful. I mean, not only is it an awesome work of art, but it smokes great. It really. This is. I think I was telling you, this is the first Meerschaum pipe I've ever owned. Didn't really know anything about them, and was very excited to get this, man. So thank you, and I'm loving it. I'm having a blast breaking it in, and the tobaccos taste great in it. I still, I'm still even just learning how to taste tobaccos and really discern between different blends and stuff. But it's great smoker and just looks awesome. So thanks again, buddy.
Yeah, no, totally. So, we'll get into Meerschaums in a minute. Let's hear a little bit about you. When and how did you start smoking a pipe?
So it started. Okay, my introduction. I think my interest in pipes started when I was a tiny little kid, just playing in my neighborhood. There was this grumpy old man that lived on our block that hated kids. He hated them, and he would if you kicked your soccer ball on his lawn, he would run over there cussing at you and take the soccer ball, and you'd never see it again. I mean, he hated kids. But every night, this guy sat there and smoked his pipe on the porch. So I'd be on the lawn playing with my G.I. Joe figures, and the smoke would just waft down the street across, where I was playing, and I would just smell this incredible smell. I mean, I was a little kid, but I loved the smell of his pipe tobacco. I hated cigarettes. Right. I couldn't stand the smell of cigarettes, but the pipe tobacco aroma was just so pleasant and inviting, and I loved it. Then fast forward 20 years, and I got really into going to Renaissance fairs and pirate fairs and doing that whole thing. I'm still very much in that scene, and I love the escape of it all. I love just kind of getting away from our fast-paced modern world full of technology and just stepping back into the old world, disconnecting from our phones and our tablets, and just dressing up like a pirate or medieval times and smoking a pipe. And that pipe is what really helps just transport me back in time. It really does. The smell of it, the whole ritual of smoking a pipe, I love all of it. And it really does just help me escape. It's fun. I love it.
Yeah, it has that sort of, magic about it, the kind of what's old is new again, right?
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, the fact that you go to Ren fairs and you dress up in historic garb and you're super, super into pirates. I've never known anybody who's as much into pirates as you. And that's kind of what inspired this whole thing here. So
yeah, I love it.
But you're also a Disney Imagineer. And which is an amazing career. I think, that's kind of everybody, even people who aren't really naturally super creative, that's kind of everybody's dream job in a way, I recommend everybody watching and listening to this, go to Grimwood Hollow on YouTube, watch this guy's videos, because Steve, the stuff that you create is just, it's magic. I can't even imagine being able to produce things with that level of detail and that quality.
Well, thanks, Wes. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's been a crazy ride. Starting off in the effects industry, working on movies, and then I transitioned in the mid '90s because most of the practical effects work was being taken over by computers. So as a practical effects artist, I transitioned in the theme park world and eventually ended up at Imagineering in '97. So I've been one of the lead sculptors now for 25 years there at Imagineering, working on pretty much everything you can imagine in all the parks. we do all the work. The majority of the design work we do here in Glendale, California, and we work on all the parks all over the world, Paris and Hong Kong and Tokyo and Florida, Anaheim, and we design and create all of the attractions, and then we build scale models and eventually sculpt and create the full-size stuff that is eventually installed in the park. And so that's what I do. And I even worked on Pirates of the Caribbean, which was like, you can imagine I was nerding out so bad like when I got to work on Pirates.
Yeah, no
because
kidding.
of being a pirate freak. Yeah, I got to do all of the skeleton pirates in the grotto when we revamped that ride in 2006 to put in all of the Johnny Depp figures for the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to revamp the entire ride and kind of bring everything up to date and clean it up. So I got to recreate all of the pirate skeletons in the grotto, and that was like the most like geek job I could ever get. I was like losing my mind, dude. I'm like, pirate skeletons, oh my god.
That is awesome. That's hilarious. So real quick, Pipes of Old, Blake MD CCC XX VII. I don't even know what number that is because I don't know Roman numerals that quickly off the top of my head. Mr. Bentley and Droid Little all say hello. Droid Little actually won a Bones pipe, one of the first Bones pipe that I gave away. So Droid, how do you like that Bones pipe? Let me know in the comments.
I've chatted with Droid Little a tiny bit on your videos. We've been commenting back and forth, and I remember that he won that Bones pipe, which was really cool. I have 2 Bones pipes, and I love them, man. They're great pipes.
Oh man, they're amazing, and for the price point, you can't beat a Bones pipe. I've one right back here, and another one in my Jeep that I just take with me everywhere I go. So I mean, just regular travel pipes. You can take them on vacation. You know, if you drop it, you don't have to worry about it. It adds character to it because they come unfinished.
Yeah, I know. I love the unfinished look. Again, it makes it a little bit more earthy, and I love that for my aesthetic, you know, with all my pirate old world stuff. So I love that unfinished look of the wood and stuff. But I have you to thank for that, man, because it was your video that I came across. Seriously, I saw your video with the interview with Chris Morgan, and then you were doing that giveaway, and I went and looked up his website and stuff, and I was just like, oh my god, I'm buying a couple of these. They're amazing. Yeah. And I even got one for my friend too, because like you said, I mean, they're so affordable, and I really loved them, so I picked up a couple pipes. It was great.
Yeah, Droid says Bones is absolutely great. It's dedicated to his 3 nuns, which is awesome. That's a great blend. Steve, what was your first blend?
Well, I believe it was just Captain Black, the original. I started smoking probably smoking pipes super casually about 34 years ago, maybe, or something, when I started really going to these Ren fairs a lot and being a crazy pirate and stuff. And I only smoked my pipe when I would do that, when I would go to these Ren fairs and these different events a couple times a year. And then maybe occasionally, if I was sitting in my backyard grilling or something, I would smoke my pipes. But I bet I only smoked my pipes a half a dozen times a year, maybe, or maybe a dozen times a year. It was very infrequent, very casual. And it wasn't until, oh my gosh, it wasn't until 7 months ago that I really took a deep dive into the hobby. But anyway, backing up, yeah, when I first started, I just kind of got whatever there was I could find at a drugstore. And so I would just grab like those little pouches of Captain Black, and I loved it. I still love Captain Black to this day. It's so nostalgic. It has that classic pipe smoke aroma, and I love it. I still think it's a really fun blend.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. So how have your tastes developed over time? So, you know, you and I talk about what blends are good, what things you're getting into. And when I first, started talking to you, you were like very heavy into the rum aromatics, things like that. And it sounds like you're getting more into the Englishes, a lot more Latakia heavy blends, things like that. How are your tastes developing over time?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. I did something that's probably really stupid, but at the same time, I've really enjoyed it, and I think it turned out to be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, but I decided to only get blends that were either pirate themed or nautical themed or had to do with rum or something like that, because I wanted these are all my blends, a bunch of my blends up here. I wanted everything to just, again, have that pirate theme to it and stuff,
Right.
which is a ridiculous way to choose tobaccos, right? I mean, I get it. It's probably the dumbest thing you could do to put these parameters on choosing tobaccos, but I didn't care. I wanted like everything to be pirate themed. Anyway, that's kind of how I started 7 months ago. Was I started picking things like Pirate Cake and Black Frigate and Queen Anne's Revenge and Barbados Plantation and Cobblestone Spiced Rum, anything that felt nautical, rum, or pirate, right? So I started tasting them though, and was loving all these different blends. Well, okay, I'll be honest. At first, all I ever smoked was aromatics, and it is a massive leap to go from an aromatic to like an English blend. You know, I had no idea even what to expect. And the first English blend I ever opened was Early Morning Pipe. That was one of the few I picked up just because I read all the reviews on it, and everybody was saying it's a really mellow kind of entry level or just a mellow English blend, a good transition, to get you going on English blends. So
Yeah, totally.
I opened that Early Morning Pipe tin, and it was like a sock in the face, man. I was just like, oh my God, like,
it's very different.
Smells, yeah, it smells nothing like an aromatic. So at first I was really put off by it. And then it was funny. I'd already bought all these other tins of tobacco. I bought Black Frigate and Captain Earl's Private Stock and a couple other ones. And I opened those up. And at first I was kind of like, again, I was a little bit put off by it. And then I'm not kidding you, Wes, the craziest thing happened. Like, I kept, like, every day or two, I'd go in there and I'd crack the tin, and I'd sniff it and just kind of smell the aroma and stuff. And the more I sniffed it and smelled it, something clicked in my head, and all of a sudden, it literally started smelling delicious to me. It went from off-putting to almost mouth-watering in like a matter of weeks. And I tried them both, and one thing that I noticed and learned right away, again, as a new pipe smoker, and anybody who's a new pipe smoker, I would strongly encourage to really give things a chance, because what I really noticed too was pipe tobacco can taste and smell very different when you smoke it than what it smells like in the tin, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So different.
Right.
I think aromatic smokers are going to, know that the most.
Absolutely, yeah. So that was one thing. Like, I was so surprised when I first tried the Black Frigate and the Captain Earl's Private Stock. I was actually almost like scared to try it. I'm like, oh my God, these are super strong, and it's nothing like an aromatic. And I was really, not kidding you. I was like intimidated by it. I'm like, all right, but that's it. I'm doing it. I'm diving in. I'm gonna try it. And I loved it. Like, right off the bat, I was like, wow, this is so much nicer than I thought it was going to be, and so much less offensive. In fact, it was really pleasant. And that was literally the turning point for me. Trying those couple English blends, I decided that's it. I'm going to start trying all these different blends. So I started trying Virginias and Darkfire Kentuckys and different things. And I realized pretty quick that there's not really a lot of tobaccos I don't love. I mean, they're all so good. Like, I really am finding a lot about them that I love. But I think to your point, I absolutely found out pretty fast that I am definitely a Latakia guy. I love strong, smoky, leathery, earthy Latakia. And what made me realize that was smoking Pirate Cake. Pirate Cake was
pure Latakia, basically.
right. And so one one of my big challenges still is trying to distinguish the different types of tobacco when I'm smoking a blend, being able to recognize the flavors and the aromas of different types of tobacco. And I'm still really struggling with that. And getting Pirate Cake instantly made me realize what Latakia was and what Latakia smelled like. I was like, you crack that open and you're like, oh, that's Latakia. I get it now. And then you can go back and you can open up, Black Frigate, and you can open up Captain Earl's Private Stock and your other blends, and now you can smell the Latakia in there. And I'm able to discern, able to pick out the Latakia in those blends. So I'm pretty decent at picking out Latakia now and Virginias, but I still have a lot of trouble really being able to distinguish the flavors of like Orientals and Burleys, and sometimes, it's just I'm still, in my opinion, I'm still very new to this, so I'm still really trying to just experiment and sample and learn things,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Real quick though, Michael Chilton says, right on. Shout out to my brother Steve. So apparently Michael Chilton. JC Pipes and Knives says he's smoking some C&D Anthology. Asked me what I'm smoking. I actually have some Loch Ness going in the pipe right now. And like I was telling you, Steve, this Loch Ness is definitely one of my favorite standbys. Like, for something I can easily get anytime, I mean, this is one that I want to stock up on and get a ton of it, because I can smoke this all day, every day. It's so good.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to trying that. I bought one tin of it, and eventually I'll break into it and give it a chance. But I've got so many other ones open right now that I'm working through.
Right. So it's funny you started talking about like trying to pick out the different aromas and flavors of the different tobacco types. And one thing, I told you this before. One thing that I did was pretty early on, I bought different blending components, right? So I bought some pure Latakia, I bought some Orientals, I bought different types of Virginias, bought some different Burleys, and just to get the flavor and the feel for what they are. And here's the cool thing: right now, C&D bulk is on sale. I think 20% off on smokingpipes.com. So I want to share. So I didn't even think about this. It's a good thing I have it out here. I want to share this with you guys. I just got a package from them. With, let's see, I have, because I'm replenishing so I want to start blending some, right? So I got a bunch of blending components. I have,
nice.
Let's see, that's not gonna, I got 4 ounces of red Virginia ribbon. I got 4 ounces of long cut Perique. 4 ounces of white Burley. There's a lot of tobacco in here. 4 ounces of Orientals. 4 ounces of Latakia. Let's see, got a bunch. Dark Burley. I got granulated Perique. I got dark fired Kentucky. And some chopped cigar leaf. So I have a giant pile of tobacco back here that I'm going to be blending up very soon. And, one of the great things that you can do, though, is just jar each one of these independently. And just every once in a while, just give it a good whiff, pack up a bowl of just, the pure dark fired Kentucky and see what it's like. And you can pick out those flavors. And when you start getting in other, better blends, you can start noticing some of those things. Not right now. I'm actually, I don't know if you can tell, I'm really congested right now. My whole family has a cold. So great time to smoke a pipe, apparently.
No, that's a bummer. Sorry, man.
Yeah. So another interesting thing is how the tobaccos age over time. So interesting thing. When you were speaking, you mentioned Navigator, and JC Pipes and Knives gave that a big thumbs up. And we were talking about Navigator, you and I, not too long ago, because you actually sent me some, and I had it sitting in my cellar, and I kind of forgot about it, and I went back in there and I was kind of testing out everything that you sent me again, and I noticed that the Navigator, out of all of them, picked up, and it's not supposed to, it shouldn't have this, I'm not really sure why I'm smelling it, has almost a little bit of a spicy smell to it. You can't really taste it when you smoke it, But at first, it was like it almost smelled like Christmas spices. Not really as much now, but like I just something in there I wasn't quite expecting. So it's really interesting to see how these things age over time.
I'll have to crack mine open too. Like I got Navigator was one of the first ones I got probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had it a number of times. I really like that one, but it's been sitting in a jar now for a while. I bet it's been at least like 2 or 3 months now since I've had it because I've been trying so many other ones. So I'll have to go back and check it out, crack it open and see what it smells like. Maybe I'll smell some of those spices you're talking about. I know that one is, if I remember right, I believe that's also a kind of a Navy blend or based on a Navy blend. It's mostly Virginias and it's got a rum topping and it has a couple other tobaccos in there too that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. But I think it's Virginia forward and then the rum topping. But it's interesting that, as it ages, it evolves. You know, they evolve into new flavors and smells and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Droid Little says he is a Kentucky guy. So, yeah, totally pick some of that up. Let's see. Mr. Bentley asks, do you have a favorite Latakia-based blend? And I think you said that yours is Pirate Cake.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a handful of them now. Pirate Cake, absolutely. I just started smoking Old Ironsides by Dan Tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
Old Ironsides is amazing, just awesome. I've been really loving the Captain Earl's blends. I've had 2 of those now, and both of those are amazing. And I have a couple other ones that I haven't even opened yet. But yeah, I don't know. There's basically anything with Latakia in it so far. I'm really loving.
Yeah, and you're right. It's one of those that you can't really smoke in the house very often because it's funny. I did a video on how to get rid of smoky smell in your house, and a lot of the tips and tricks I talked about really do work. But Latakia is just that one smell, and that's the thing that's going to stick. If anything else, that's the thing you got to look out for, that Latakia. So a lot of people,
it's very strong.
Right. So a lot of people they'll smoke their their Latakias and their heavy Englishes in the wintertime because it just has that nice warming feeling to them, and they'll save their they'll save their Virginias and their lighter smokes for the summertime because it's more summery, right? I'm kind of the opposite. So I'll smoke the the aromatics and the Virginias in the wintertime so I can smoke them in the house and more easily get rid of that smell. And I'll save the really sticky pungent stuff for the summertime when I can be outside.
That makes sense. Totally makes sense. Yeah.
So you sent me some
That's
questions.
funny, man.
So you sent me some questions a while ago. I'm going to get into some of these here.
Yeah,
These were actually really good questions, and I didn't want to answer them because I want to save them for this. Let's see.
No, that's great, man. I've got a whole list of questions here. I want to grill you, man.
Totally.
I need some info. I got to dig into your crazy brain, dude.
That's what we're here for, seriously. So your first one was, what got me interested in pipes? So, I'm significantly older than I look, like a lot. I've been smoking pipes for a little over 20 years now. So I first got into it because I used to manage a cigar shop in a local shopping mall. And, down the street a little bit was another smoke shop, and they had pipes. We didn't really have any pipe paraphernalia at our place. It was just cigars. And, we all kind of hang out. We all knew each other. It's a small world. This is Central Ohio. And they're like, "Oh man, you gotta try these pipes. This stuff is, it's completely different from cigars." I'm like, "I don't know. All right, I'll give it a try." And I was hooked from the first. I don't remember what it was I smoked first, but from the first puff, it was just amazing. I was completely hooked. And my very first pipe was a Peterson. I don't remember the size. And my second pipe was that big, now chocolate brown meerschaum that I have. So I've had that thing for about 20 years. When I got it, it was ghost white.
Awesome.
And the thing I love about meerschaums is, I know I've said this before, but it's totally true. They, just like briars, they'll ghost, but they ghost in a little bit different way. Like it sticks. You can't get rid of that ghost for the most part. And over the last 20 years, it's picked up just a little bit of every tobacco it's ever smoked. And you just turn the bowl over and you just smell the pipe itself. And like, I want to smell like that pipe. I want my kids remembering me smelling like that because it smells like heaven.
That'd be nice.
Right, I'm sure my wife wouldn't agree, but That's where I go. So you said you got into pipes because you were into the Renfest, scene, and the costumes and the old school. You probably had some church warden pipes along the way.
Actually, it's funny. This is I've never owned a church warden pipe, but this is the very first pipe I ever owned. It's huge. It's like a tree trunk. The thing's almost like half the size of my fist. This thing's a monster. But I loved it because it's all made out of a branch and everything, and it just looked a little more earthy for my costume and stuff. But yeah, this thing's crazy. But yeah, I used to try to pick pipes mainly on what would look like a pirate costume, right? So here's another one that has like leather and some twine on it, and it's all made out of wood. And they're they look good, but they're not necessarily great smokers.
Right.
But again, I didn't know the first thing about smoking a pipe. I was doing it all wrong, man. I mean, once you really learn the art and the science behind it, it's a totally different game. Anyone can pick up a pipe and throw a bunch of tobacco in there and light it and start puffing on it.
Right.
But you're not going to get the full awesome experience until you really learn the science and the art behind it. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that for 30 years. And again, I didn't even learn it until about 7 months ago when I started taking this deep dive, and I started looking at your videos and other people's videos online, all the big YouTube pipe guys, Mutton Chop Piper and all of them. And that's where I really started learning stuff. And it was a total game changer. I mean, it completely changed how you smoke your pipe and how I taste the tobacco, and even how I treat my pipe and clean it and take care of it. Because I guarantee you, probably all these old pipes I have are so burnt out and thrashed. In fact, a couple of them are cracked. Like the stems are all loose on them because they're cracked. And I know that's because the bowls were blazing hot because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's funny. So, I lied about my first pipe, though. I lied. My first pipe, I think, was in middle school when, just a buddy and I, we didn't know what we were doing, but, you're middle school dumb kids. And we were actually able to buy like a CVS brand, or, probably the cheapest Dr. Grabo on the market from a local drugstore. And we took apart some cigarettes and put a bunch of cigarette tobacco in there and smoked it, and probably got sick to our stomachs. But that was my first pipe a long time ago. So
that's hilarious, dude.
Let's see. Awesome. Then you asked me, how many open tins or jars do you have at any given time? And I actually went back and counted. I have 27 of these smaller jars here. I have 5 of the next size up, which would be the 8 ounce. And then I have maybe 4 or 5 big 16-ounce jars. So I have a lot of tobacco I need to get through.
Yeah, I'm kind of almost right there with you now. I got these are I think these are the 4-ounce ones, and I have 2 crates of those, so that's 24 of those. And then I have the smaller 2-ounce ones, which I have, oh my gosh, I don't know, I have at least 12, or maybe I have 24 of those. I don't even know now. And then I have a couple open tins too that I've been just starting to taste and stuff. But yeah, I've got probably more than I can. Okay.
Hopefully it lets us back into the same
wow.
stream.
Your image was all, okay, there we go. It was all jacked up. We were getting a bad signal or something.
Yeah, hopefully it lets us back in here. Oh, fingers crossed.
Oh my gosh.
I know, of course. And we're back. Oh, holy moly. Okay. Technical difficulties. So I think we lost almost everybody who was watching, but that's fine.
Oh,
so
man.
Yeah, show your jar cover that you have. The jar sticker that you have.
I don't know if you can see it very well.
Yeah, that looks great. That is super cool. You make it
so I just thought it'd be fun to come up with something piratey and unique, and that you can put the titles on and then have the date for when you opened it and put it into the jar so you can keep track of the date. And of course, a Jolly Roger done with a skull and cross pipes. But yeah, just for something fun. And it's the end of a barrel, because on ships they used to store all of their goods, all their tobacco, and everything in wooden barrels. So I made it look like the end of a wooden barrel.
Yeah, that is super cool. And that logo that you made with the skull and the cross pipes, like I want that on a t-shirt. You need to start like a Teespring account so I can buy a t-shirt with that on there.
All right, I'll have to get that set up.
Yeah, do that, man. And yeah, Droid
Thanks,
Rule, sorry about the technical difficulties. So just again, the joys of streaming. Go figure.
Oh yeah, dude, it just happens.
Oh man. Let's see. Do you have any specific pipes dedicated to specific blends? You know what? I used to dedicate, meerschaums to just. I used to have a different meerschaum for different blends. I didn't do so much with my briars. They seem a little more hardy as far as not ghosting as much. But certain meerschaums I would save for Englishes or aromatics or Latakia heavy. But after a while, I'm like, you know what? I kind of like when they ghost a little bit personally. I think they just take on a really interesting character. And again, like that big giant, not giant, but the bigger, chocolate meerschaum that I have. I love the way it smells after it ghosts. So I don't really reserve my pipes that way anymore.
That's kind of cool. I've heard both. I think I've heard more people dedicating pipes to specific blends than not doing that. But I have heard both, and I've been kind of torn about it. I don't have a ton of pipes. Well, I guess compared to who? I mean, I know there's people out there with, hundreds or dozens and dozens of pipes. I have.
Oh yeah.
I think I have 12 pipes now, like 12 really good smoking pipes. That's not including my old pirate costume ones, but I have 12 really good smoking pipes now. And I actually did dedicate them kind of. I have like 4 or 5 of them for English blends and 4 of them for Virginias, that kind of a thing. But then there's so many blends that are kind of like crossovers too. And then you're like, well, what pipe do I use for those? And you're just kind of like, oh, whatever, just throw it in a pipe and smoke it. So yeah, I'm kind of at that point now where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be as particular and worried about it. I'm just going to grab whatever pipe I want and, enjoy it. The heck with it. And like you said, even if it's ghosted a little bit and you get a little residual or a little crossover flavor, who cares, man? It's all awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've actually seen some of your collection. What's your favorite pipe right now? What's your just go-to, like, not even necessarily like your favorite show pipe, but like, what's your go-to pipe? Like, you're having a bad day, you come home, you want to light up a bowl. What do you go to?
Well, right now, so I only smoke 2 or 3 days a week. I would love to smoke every day because I'm enjoying it so much. But I only smoke 2 or 3 days a week at the most. And I've been trying to like cycle through all of my pipes. So, so I'll specifically go to different pipes every couple days and kind of cycle through them. But there are a couple of my pipes that are definitely my favorite. I think actually one of my first pipes. Let's see. This was probably, I think this was the first pipe I got 7 months ago when I decided to really take this hobby serious, and I love this pipe. It's absolutely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's a Peterson 408 Dublin rusticated filter, 9mm. But I got it. I was lucky. I got the old rustication, whatever you call it. They do it a little bit different now, where it looks, in my opinion, it looks more kind of forced. It looks like someone took a Dremel, like a rotary tool, and just hit it a bunch of times, and it makes sort of a repeating pattern. And back when they were doing it this way, is that one? That one still looks pretty cool, but I've seen some of them that look so much more deliberate, like these perfect little divots in it that look like a repeating pattern. I just don't like it as much. But the way they used to do this just had such a rough, cool look to it. And I really like this. I think this one's called a Prince shape. Yeah. And I don't know, I just absolutely love the look and the feel of this pipe. I think it's so awesome.
Yeah, that's
So that's
awesome.
one of my favorites right there for sure.
No, that's a great choice. And Peterson's really known for that really kind of um, chunky patterns they put into their pipes. And
Yeah.
the funny thing is occasionally, like you'll see on the bottom of some pipes, the what it looks like without the that rustication. That's not a good example. I'm trying to find a good example here. That's not a good one either. Occasionally, you'll see on the bottom where it's smooth and they have like the Peterson information on there. The
Yeah.
sort of patterning of the briar, what it would have looked like if it didn't have that rustication. You're like, man, I would have loved it so much more if it had. Right, yeah, right there, exactly.
Yeah.
And here's an example of that. Actually, in my opinion, I like this pipe. This is their Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde pipe, where one side's
Oh yeah.
rusticated, one side's smooth. But like
Super cool.
I look at like the patterning in the briar, and I'm like, man, if the whole pipe were like that, that'd be a sweet pipe. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's Peterson for you. So, but I love the way they perform. Actually,
I
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I like both. I think I really love the heavy rustication, the chunky texture. I think it looks so cool. And at times, I really love a nice smooth pipe with a beautiful wood grain in it that you can see. I think they're both great looks,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know, it's so endless, man. You just as many pipes as you own, you just keep seeing more that you love and you want. They're all just these awesome little works of art, and it's like, oh my God, that thing's so cool. Do I need another pipe? Hell no, but I'm going to get one.
Right, exactly. Well, that's how you turn into one of these guys that has a collection of like 200-300 pipes, sitting there.
That's
and
insane.
you're like, so what are your feelings? So actually, here's a question real quick. Mr. Bentley asks, have we tried the Peterson system pipes? And I have, and I love the system pipes. I don't smoke them as much because I don't think the shape fits my face as well as like other styles. I love the way they perform though, because I'm naturally a little bit of a wet smoker. So, some of my pipes tend to build up a little bit of condensation at the bottom, a little bit of drool, whatever. But what I'll do is I'll just go through about halfway and I'll, put a pipe cleaner through there, and it's like it never happened. So, yeah, I love the system pipes, but I don't really smoke them all the time. What about you? You ever try a system pipe?
I haven't. I've read a little bit about them. I don't know a ton about them, but I know it's a really awesome patented design that they came up with that it kind of helps to cool the smoke, right? And kind of reduce moisture. Is that correct?
Right. So, let's see. Wish I had one that was even remotely that style here. Basically, let's say this is a system pipe here. So it comes down in the main bowl, and then it kind of there's a second little shaft that goes down where the stem meets and goes in. So any condensation or drool or dottle or whatever that gets in there will be caught in this sort of other little chamber before it gets up into the stem. So it serves a couple purposes. One is to cool the smoke slightly, and two is to sort of make it a drier smoke for you, so you don't get like, occasionally when you're really going at it and a little bit of that wetness kind of gets back up into the stem and it gets in your mouth and it tastes horrible. It reduces that.
Yeah.
So, but you smoke a filtered pipe most of the time, so you probably don't have to worry about that very often.
Yeah, I almost exclusively do. I do have a handful of unfiltered pipes, and I really love them, but I just don't smoke them all the time as like in my constant rotation because for one, I'm just a total wuss when it comes to smoke.
No, not at all.
I am. I mean, dude, I've never been a smoker of anything. I never smoked cigars or cigarettes or anything. It was just my pipes a few times a year. So smoke to me is still it can be a little bit potent, a little bit harsh at times. So for me personally, I just really prefer and enjoy the filters. I just think there's something that just takes the edge off a little bit to make it a little bit more comfortable for me. And I enjoy it. I still get a ton of flavor and I really enjoy it. In fact, I think it actually, it even cools the smoke a little bit. So I don't, so the smoke doesn't feel as hot on your tongue too, which is kind of nice. But anyway, yeah. So to your point, yeah, I don't get a lot of moisture in there. I also, I don't clench at all, like ever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not into it. I don't really like clenching on it. It kind of, I have a messed up jaw that pops out of socket.
Yeah, I get it.
So not comfortable for me to clench. So I just really like holding on to my pipe. I like holding it. It's just comfortable and it's nice. I dig looking at it. And so I know that clenching can often cause more moisture to go down into your pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And so because I don't clench, I think that also cuts back a little bit on the moisture for me personally.
Right. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with a filtered pipe. You know, you'll hear people occasionally say it, you know, it will alter the flavor of the tobacco and whatnot. I don't think so. I've never noticed that myself. Now, granted, there might be, you know, ultra pipe smokers out there who can taste every tiny little thing,
Oh God.
including the balsa
Yeah.
wood. But I mean, unless you're one of those guys with a palate like a bloodhound, I mean, you're not gonna know the difference.
Yeah, that's not me.
But so my only problem with a filter is I'm too lazy to buy new ones and change it out. So, you know, I know like with the Savinellis, they most of them come with a little balsa wood filter, but they also come with this little sort of little plastic piece
Oh yeah.
that will fit into the stem in place of that filter. So that's usually what I do. But again,
Gotcha.
only because I'm too lazy to change out the filter. So historically, when I've used a filtered pipe, I notice after about 4 or 5 smokes, I need to change out that filter. Otherwise, it starts to taste a little bit sour to me. But, you know, it's personal preference, really. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, so I literally change out the filter every single time. So I'll only smoke one bowl. Or if I was gonna do 2 back to back, fine, whatever. But I'll only do 1 smoke session, and then I throw that filter away immediately, and then I clean my pipe out with a few pipe cleaners and hang it up. But yeah, I just like it to be fresh and clean every time. I just don't want to taste stale smoke and stale tobacco garbage in there, you know? So they're cheap, man. Filters are so cheap. I'm like, screw it. I'm just gonna swap them out every single time. And that's just what I do.
Yeah, totally. So, you know, last week I had Dr. Alan Harrelson from the Pipe Cottage on. And he's going through some issues right now in Kentucky with starting his brick and mortar Pipe Cottage shop. So he actually had to shut down his entire e-com site, all that stuff. Terrible story.
Yeah,
And
really sad.
so, you know, part of what we talked about was sort of a war on tobacco that's happening right now. Now, I know that you live in California, and I don't know about your experiences, but the sort of, I don't know, some of the meme feelings that go around is that California is like really hard on tobacco smokers. Like you'll see jokes on TV shows that, like, you know, if you smoke any kind of tobacco product, you're immediately like shunned in certain parts of society. Do you ever feel that way in California?
Well, I can't say that I've ever really encountered that because I don't really smoke out in public ever. I just smoke here at my house in my backyard, or occasionally I get together with a buddy at work and we'll smoke there sometimes. So I haven't kind of been in any crazy social environment or out in public dealing with that.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's kind of funny. I feel like it's pretty dang accepted here by a lot of people. I mean, oh yeah. I mean, well, I guess it just depends on the group and stuff. I mean, like, we have a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of different groups of people here in California for sure.
Oh,
and
totally.
yeah, and there's like a whole scene of younger kids these days that have really gotten into like the craft beer scene, you know, so the microbreweries and the craft beers, and also a lot of like the cigar lounges and cigar bars. And so obviously in that scene, it's a very, you know, kind of hip thing and trendy thing and very accepted. Yeah. And then there's Hollywood, right? We're in the heartbeat or literally the center of the entertainment industry right here, right? This is literally the heart of the entertainment industry. And so there's a lot of people in the entertainment industry that smoke, and I don't know,
Fair point.
for various reasons. So I've been in the entertainment industry for most of my life, and I've been around a lot of people that smoke, and it's literally just kind of an accepted thing. A lot of people do it. Now there is sort of the flip side of that, though, where, as you know, obviously there's different types of smoking. There's cigars, there's pipes, there's cigarettes, and I think most of us pipe smokers absolutely agree that we should not be lumped in with cigarette smoking, and it's very, very, very different. I think just the whole nature of it is completely different from pipe smoking, even to people's personal reasons why they do it, and why they get into it, and even people's personality traits. I think there's just different types of people who are drawn to pipe smoking rather than cigarette smoking, and cigarette smoking, and this is just my opinion, I still feel like is so much more offensive. The smoke and everything to me.
I totally agree.
When I'm actually glad I don't have to walk into a restaurant and smell cigarette smoke. I really am. I mean, I think they should still have rights, of course, but I just feel like, me personally, I'm okay with less places allowing cigarette smoke, because I don't want to smell that. It's not good to me. It hurts my throat and my sinuses when I breathe it in. It's just not pleasant at all.
Right.
So yeah, most of our restaurants don't allow it anymore. In fact, most of the bars don't even allow cigarette smoking anymore. And so it has changed. The culture has changed around here. But I think it's kind of a personal preference. I think some people are very accepting of it, and other people are like, get the hell away from me, kind of a thing.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and cigarette smoking is completely different. So, with cigarette tobacco rather, they pump it full of chemicals and preservatives, and a lot of them are specifically designed to keep you hooked. And the funny thing about pipe tobacco is you will never find, you can't say never, but look, in my narrow mind, you can never find a pipe smoker who's like jonesing for a smoke, right? They're not like, oh, I need my daily, pipe, or I'm not going to be able to function today, right? I need a pipe break halfway through the day because I got the jitters, like you do with cigarette smokers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And in fact, a lot of times,
Absolutely.
like this Navigator is actually, it's pretty heavy in the nicotine, and you can feel it. And you'll even see that in the comments online about, on the different shops that sell this. So people who smoke pipes, for the most part, I don't even believe are in it for the nicotine.
I would have to agree. I think it's more about the escape, being able to chill out for a minute, escape from the craziness of our world, our jobs, all the things going on in life that stress us out. You can just step back from that and enjoy the entire ritual of smoking a pipe. The meditative nature of it, the relaxing nature of it, and just be able to escape all that and just really enjoy your time, enjoy the aromas, the flavor. And that's what it's about. It's not, in my opinion, at least for me, and I think most people, it isn't about the nicotine hit, oh, I got to get my nicotine fix. It's not even like that. It's a pleasant pastime and a pleasant hobby. It's not an addiction, right? It's not an addictive thing where, we have to have it. Maybe buying more pipes and tobacco, maybe that's addictive.
That is, and that's dangerous because you can spend a lot of money on this stuff.
But yeah, I really don't, at least so far, I don't think the nature of smoking a pipe is addictive in the way that cigarettes is at all. I think you can become well, I don't even want to say addicted, but wanting to, or having that need to smoke your pipe because you enjoy it so much. Like I feel that way. Like I was telling you, I would love to smoke my pipe, every day and
Hmm.
maybe multiple times a day just because I enjoy it so much. But I'm still trying to just be a little more health conscious and not go too crazy with it. And also, I feel like it's more of a treat too. There's something more awesome and something even more enjoyable when you don't overdo it. When it's more of a treat that you have maybe a couple times a week. When you've had a really long day at work and you're
Hmm.
stressed out and you're just really looking forward to that time after work where you can just sit down with your pipe and kick back. And if you're doing it all the time, sometimes it can just overkill it. It doesn't make it as special, I guess, and as awesome.
Oh, absolutely. It's all things in moderation, right? The old
Right,
saying.
right.
So Droid Little said he smoked for 23 years and he's glad he quit. So congratulations on that, Droid. That's a big
Oh,
deal
wow. Yeah, awesome,
because I
man.
know people who've smoked for multiple years, and it's a hard habit to kick. I mean, again, it's those
Oh,
chemicals they put in there
yeah,
specifically to keep you hooked that you don't get with pipe tobacco or even
absolutely.
cigars for that matter. A premium cigar, it's not going to have any kind of chemicals in there. That's just leaf in there. So it's a completely different world from pipe tobacco. However, you did mention something interesting about the addictive nature of buying tobacco and pipes. So
Yeah,
that brings me up. I'm always torn on the idea of artisan pipes, right?
yeah,
Because you see some designs out there that you're like, that's amazing. Like on Instagram, you'll see some of these artisan pipes, and you're like, I have to have one of these. The
yeah.
problem with me is, so I have two problems. One, I do get addicted to collecting. I'm a collecting nerd. I mean, you should see
Okay,
my collections of just random junk that I have, that I've had my entire life.
awesome.
But I know if I start collecting like really nice artisan pipes, I'm not going to be able to stop. I'm gonna have to get more. I'm gonna have to get the next one in that same line, so I have the whole collection. It's because my
I
brain is
love
broken somehow.
it.
But at the same
Yeah.
time, I know if I spend, you know, five, six, $800, $1,000 on a pipe, I'm not going to want to light it. I don't want to put fire to that thing that I just spent that much
Dude,
money
yeah.
on. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
my God,
as a
yeah.
collector, for one, I want to protect it. But on the other hand, like I spent a lot of money on this thing. I don't want to light it on fire.
Yeah,
What
I
are
know.
your
I
feelings
would
on premium on artisan pipes?
I would have it on a pedestal with a spotlight on it, and I'd never touch the thing, man. Like, I mean, I I can't even justify spending $1,000 on a pipe. Sorry, but
Right.
but not okay. Now, having said that, though, there is that is a crazy art form, man. Like, I really
It is.
appreciate the art and the amount of work that goes into creating those pipes. Like, as a sculptor myself, as an artist myself, I know how much time I put into the stuff I do. And I used to sell my own art online, and it's really hard to get uh, people to pay the prices that you want for your art, because a lot of people just don't understand the amount of work that goes into creating something by hand.
Hmm.
If you've never done that yourself, if you've never created something from scratch by hand, you don't understand how much work that goes into that. We're so used to everything being mass produced
Right.
overseas, or and because of that, we are used to paying mass produced prices, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of these pipes, even Peterson and
Right.
Savinelli, those are factory mass produced pipes. That's why you can get one for $80, or
Right.
something.
Totally.
And they're awesome. There's nothing wrong. I love them. They're great. But an artisan pipe is hundreds or $1,000 because that's an artist creating it by hand. And I get that. So when I say I can't justify paying $1,000, I'm not even saying it's not worth it. It is
Right.
absolutely worth it. They deserve every penny of that for all of the work and the time and the craftsmanship put into it. It's just, for me, a little rich for my blood to get into starting to collect or buy ones that are at that level. But there's a lot of artisan pipes that are still in an awesome price range. Like, you can find some amazing artisan pipes from like 180 to $250, right?
Yeah.
And they're beautiful.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, so you're right. So Peterson, great. They perform great. They're amazing material. I've never had a problem with Peterson pipe I've bought. Same with Savinelli. And but we've been kind of spoiled with this high quality factory produced pipe. But
Yeah.
interesting thing, the Bones pipes, a lot of these come from factories, but a fair amount of them also come from smaller, more artisan factories. So he doesn't exactly say who he's buying his pipes from, but the pipes that he gets are basically ones with small flaws, or there's something wrong with it. And he was saying, Chris Morgan was saying that when he gets these, when he started talking to these companies at first, they would literally burn the pipes. They would just get a big pile of them and just burn them because they couldn't sell them. They couldn't do anything with them.
Yeah.
And some of these pipes would be worth, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if not a couple $1,000s each. But he gets them before they're finished. He refurbs them and puts his little logo on them, and he sells them for $50. So, again, it's not that artisan pipes aren't worth it. They're totally worth it. You're right. Just the craftsmanship alone. But we've been so spoiled for so long.
Yeah, I know.
But if I knew woodworking, I would totally start making pipes. It's such a cool art.
Yeah, I've actually I don't do a ton of woodworking, but I've thought about getting those raw pipe blocks that you can buy that you can carve yourself.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be, because obviously that's something I could do. I've been a sculptor my whole life. So that's something where I'm like, ooh, I could take this raw pipe block and carve it into something crazy. I haven't done it yet. I haven't gotten anything yet, but I keep thinking about that would probably be a fun project to do and carve some crazy pipe,
Oh man, yeah, absolutely. So I have one that's like
blast.
that. I don't have it out here, but I have one that's like that. It's a freehand, and it's like it's you can tell the whole thing was hand carved, and it has the cool like briar like root like pointy bit sticking out the top. There's a technical term for this stuff. I don't know, but it's a beautiful pipe. And I got this thing on eBay, and every time I smoke it, I feel like Gandalf. Like I feel like a wizard when I'm smoking this thing. It's such a cool pipe. And you're right. I really want to
see that one, man.
Yeah,
you gotta show me that one.
Yeah, I'll bring that on sometime.
Heck yeah, that sounds awesome.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
So where do you feel like you're at in your pipe smoking journey? Like, do you feel like you've really progressed? Do you feel like you're occasionally when I'll talk to you, you say you still feel like a newbie, but the thing is, I've seen your tobacco collection, I've seen your cellar, I've seen your pipes, I've seen your lighters. Like, there's nothing newbie about anything that you do. But it's funny, you kind of always feel like there's more to learn because you see these, OG guys who know everything and have everything. And you're right. When you said before, it's a little intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally appreciate it. I still feel like I feel like I am still very new to it because I'm only 7 months in. There's guys like you that have been smoking pipes for 20 years. And I mean, even though, I started messing around with pipes 30 years ago, I was never serious about it. It was more part of a costume than even a serious hobby, So literally my pipe smoking journey started back in January, I think it was January. So 7-8 months now. And so, anybody can buy, a couple dozen tobaccos. Anybody can buy some pipes. That doesn't make you experienced at pipe smoking, right? So, right. So I have a decent collection here because I've been wanting to sample a lot. So I feel like I am still in what I'm calling a sampling and experimenting phase. That's where I'm at. What I wanted to do was kind of like you mentioned earlier. I bought a bunch of 1-ounce samples off of smokingpipes.com of different types of tobacco, Virginias and Englishes and aromatics and Burleys and Kentuckys, and so that I could get a little sample of everything to try to figure out what I really liked, and also to try to be able to recognize the different types of tobacco and the flavors. And then I bought a bunch of these crazy tins, all my pirate nautical rum tobaccos and stuff, again, just to try to sample these and taste them. So for me, I feel like that's where I'm at. I'm still in this phase of where I'm trying all these different tobaccos, and I really am starting to narrow it down though to what I'm enjoying the most, and I dig that. Like, and then what I wanted to do, what I've already started doing, was picking the tobacco blends that I like the most, and then stockpiling a little of those for the future, because I know that cellaring can be a really cool thing, and they can age and change and even taste better. Also, it's kind of, our future is a little undecided these days, is what's going to happen with pipe smoking and tobacco and the prices of tobacco and the regulations and everything. We just don't know what's going to happen. So I wanted to jump on that. And so I started to kind of narrow it down and figure out like what are some of my favorite blends. And then I would just buy a couple tins of each of those, and I'm starting to stockpile those. But that's kind of where I feel like I'm at. I'm sort of still at this phase where I'm experimenting and just learning. I mean, I've got the rhythm and the cadence down. I'm able to light my pipe and do the breathe method, or just very sip it really slow and smoke it in the correct way. I think I've got the science behind it where I can keep my bowl lit. Oftentimes, I only have to relight it once or twice. There's even times where I don't even have to relight it at all, which is kind of fun, So I think I've got that down pretty well. But I am really struggling. I joke about this with my wife all the time. Like, I do not understand those guys just because I can't freaking do it. I don't understand those guys like a Shane Ireland, right, at smokingpipes.com.
Yeah.
You can sit there and go, oh, this tastes like banana and pineapple and beef jerky and an old leather shoe and a dog toy and an old beer can, and I don't know, the crazy stuff they come up with. I'm like, dude, how can you pick out all these ridiculous flavors out of it? Like, I don't get any of that. Like, even after I watch these reviews and even read reviews about all the different flavors in there, it's very rare that I can pick out those flavors. It's really tough for me, and I don't know if that's just my palate or my sense of taste and smell isn't as good as other people's, isn't as refined, or maybe that'll develop over time. But I can't pick out all those flavors. It's really hard for me to, even with all these rad rum blends, oftentimes I don't taste the rum in there at all. I enjoy it. I really enjoy them. There's a really good sweetness in there. The tobaccos are awesome, but do I taste rum? I don't think so.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, totally. So, with the aromatics specifically, you're not going to taste a lot of that casing or, the topping when it starts, when it's actually burning in the pipe. It's really there for the tin note. And sometimes what I'll do is, as I'm like a new blend I really want to get those flavors out of, I'll actually have it lit. And between puffs, I'll actually take a nice sniff of the tobacco itself. And it sort of, between my nose and what I'm tasting, like it sort of, and the retrohale all together, then I can sort of pick up some of those things. And that's usually what I'll do when I'm doing like a full review on a tobacco. But so this is a terrible example, but I think it's a great point here. And this is why it's terrible. So I'm also heavy into cigars. I love cigars. And so there's a cigar handbook from Cigar Aficionado that I have. And the foreword to this book was written, and I actually have really want to get it autographed, is from Bill Cosby. And this is before the whole roofie thing.
Yeah.
But he's a big cigar smoker, or was. I don't know the deal now. I'm trying to stay out of that scene. But he was talking about the same thing. He was talking about how some of these guys can pick out the like you said, the old shoe leather and the notes of cranberries and stone fruits and whatever. And he was like, at the end of the day, I want my tobacco to taste like tobacco. And I was like, you know what? Right on. Because that's, it's great to be able to pick those things out, but really it comes down to just enjoying it,
Right.
Some of my favorite tobaccos are ones I don't have to think about. Like, I don't want to have to always light a pipe and like deliberately pull flavors out of it to try and think about it. Sometimes you want to pick it up and just enjoy it. Just have fun with it. You know what I mean?
I I feel like that's how it should always be, honestly. That's kind of I agree with you 100%, and that's sort of where I'm at. And to tell you the truth, I'm just happy to be right there. I'm so glad to just be enjoying these tobaccos. I love them. All of them taste great. They smell amazing.
Hmm.
I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I can't tell you at all what the flavors are, and I couldn't care less. All I know, I couldn't. I really don't. You know what? One day from now, 10 years from now, if I suddenly taste blueberries and an old leather shoe, cool, whatever. But but right now, man, all I know is I'm smoking it and I'm digging it, and that's all I care about. And I'm just enjoying it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So, are you familiar with Mutton Chop Piper's Blend Club that he does?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So for those who don't know, what he does is Mutton Chop Piper. If you don't know him, you need to look him up because he's a legend. He has this
Awesome.
what he calls Blend Club, where like every month or every so often, he'll pick out specific blends and he'll recommend that you buy those so that way you can smoke some, he smokes them, and then he reviews them to tell you what the flavor is like and kind of teach you like what you're tasting and the different notes that are in there. And it's actually pretty informative. I mean, he's amazing. I haven't
He
met him
is.
yet, but that's my goal. I want to meet him one day.
Yeah, I love that guy. I have a couple new friends that I've just recently been sort of helping them, kind of turning them on to pipes. My buddy Mike Chilton, who just left a message there that you mentioned a little while
Hmm.
ago. We go way back. He's been a cigar smoker for a while,
Hmm.
and just recently got into smoking pipes. And so we've been talking back and forth, and comparing notes and having a blast. And he's loving it. He got the Sun Bear and a couple other tobaccos that he's been tasting, and he's been really enjoying it. But I absolutely recommended to him to check out Mutton Chop Piper and a couple other of the YouTube channels out there to really just to get you going, because I mean, seriously, a guy with mutton chops like that, of
Oh my
course you're
God,
going to
I
learn
know.
something amazing about pipes, right? Who better to learn pipe stuff from than a guy with giant mutton chops? Like, come on, man, that's the guy you got to learn from. So yeah, if you go back to like his early videos,
Hmm.
he has so many really informative videos for the beginner piper, and that's where I got a lot of my information from, was digging back into his older videos and really looking at just the fundamentals of pipe smoking. That's where you got to start, right? I mean, like with anything in life, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You got to start with the fundamentals. You got to learn the rules, and then you can break them. But but
Yeah.
that's where you want to start. Learn how to pack the tobacco in there. Learn how to light it properly. Learn about your cadence and rhythm. Learn about the moisture content in the tobacco. Learn about all these things, and then experiment with it. Feel free to do what you want with it, but learning that science behind it, to
Hmm.
me, was so important and such a game changer. And then just based on your own habits, you'll figure out what works best for you. But it's so great to go back and or to go and watch these early videos on a lot of these channels, and just really learn the fundamentals of pipe smoking.
Oh, absolutely. The funny thing about Mutton Chop's videos is his early videos. They were shot on like it had to be like a super old. I mean, they might have been on VHS handy cams or something. Like they were so like the video quality is terrible, the sound is terrible, but the
Yeah,
information still holds up perfectly because like
absolutely.
even though the tools that we use have changed over the decades to a
Yeah.
degree, like the techniques and the tobacco and how you bring it all together hasn't changed in a couple hundred years.
Hmm.
That's the incredible thing, and that's I think what draws a lot of people to this. I don't even want to call it a hobby. I call it a lifestyle. That's what brings people to pipe
Yeah.
smoking, is
Yep.
is just this connection to something that was exactly the same 200 years ago essentially.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I ran a poll on YouTube. So let's see. I'm gonna get to this poll here
Okay.
if I can find it. Basically asking, I have my kids' videos pulled up here. It's fine. So basically, I asked, Do you believe that pipe smoking is a hobby, a habit, or a lifestyle? And if a hobby, basically, it's a fun thing to do. It seems interesting.
Yeah,
A habit was it's better than cigarettes and cheaper than cigars. And lifestyle is it just draws you in. Everything about it just brings you in because it's a connection to something bigger than yourself. And you know,
yep,
far and above, lifestyle was the winner on that poll because of just what we're saying. It's a connection to something larger. The community is
absolutely.
amazing. You don't get this kind of community in cigarettes. Like, no, you don't see a bunch of Marlboro
Right,
smokers sitting around talking about,
right.
buying a pack of cigarettes. Uh,
That's a good
even
point. That's
right,
a great point.
and even in cigars, like, you got cigar guys, and with
Yeah,
cigar guys, you get some that are like hardcore cigar guys, and they really know their stuff. But most cigar guys are like, they'll just grab a stick, with friends every once in a while, and they'll smoke a cigar, and they like it, and they know the big names, they know the big brands. But with pipes, it's something completely different. Like the pipes themselves bring you in. The tobaccos is a different level that brings you in. All the different community elements just bring it together into this whole different thing that is just,
totally.
unless you're in it, you don't know. Which is why I
Yep.
feel like people who are passing these laws don't understand that it's not about the tobacco necessarily. It's not about the nicotine. It's not because we're hooked or we're
No
trying to
way.
kill ourselves with this carcinogenic material. It's a
Yeah.
lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, it really it's there's a whole ritual involved with pipe smoking, right? With a cigarette, you grab it, you light the end of it, you're done. And then you
Right.
go about your work, right? You go about your day just puffing on this cigarette. You don't even have to pay attention to it. It doesn't require any kind of effort, any of your attention at all. You just suck on it and suck on it and get your chemicals and whatever to feed your fix. With pipes, they require some attention. They require some effort. They require an entire little ritual just to get it ready and then to smoke it. And that's actually what I love the most about it. Like, I love that entire ritual. There's something about it, again, for me, that is just, it's such an escape from what we do every day in this world. All we do all day long now is sit on our computers and our phones and our tablets, and we're so connected to all this technology. And this is going back, it takes you back thousands of years, to where we're just sitting there with the most simple tools, with our little tobacco and packing our little wooden, pipe. And it's just all so basic. And I
Right.
love that about it. It really is just such um, such a transportation back in time. And I love that about it. And I really think that it really does take a special, or a specific, I should say, kind of person and personality to smoke a pipe, because I don't think it is for everyone. I think there's a lot of people in this world that wouldn't even have the patience to go through that whole ritual, to learn the science behind it, to take out some tobacco and maybe let it dry for a while and pack
Hmm.
the bowl with, three separate steps for packing the bowl and lighting it a couple times, and going through that whole ritual. There's a lot of people that wouldn't even have the time and the patience and wouldn't care about it. And that's what I love about pipe smoking, and what I really love about the culture. I think the people that connect with pipes are the exact kind of people that I connect with. They're the kind of people that enjoy those type of things in life. They enjoy taking some time off and chilling out and meditating and relaxing and escaping and just enjoying something really fine like that people have been enjoying for thousands of years. And it's literally, like you said, something that's been unchanged. So it's kind of literally a link to our past, and it's so cool because of that. I don't know. I love it. I love the history of it. I love the art of it. I love the nature of it. And for me, I love the entire ritual. It's just such an escape. Like, I look forward to it every time. I get excited about it. I'm like, woohoo, I'm going to smoke my pipes. And, it's a blast picking out which tobacco you want to smoke and which pipe you want to use. And then you've seen you see my little pipe ritual. I have my little lanterns lit, and I've got my whole little pirate set up, and I play my pirate music or my medieval music, and I just like my brain goes away, man, and I love it. I just go back in time to a simpler time, and it's great. It's just it's so relaxing and nice.
Right. So you mentioned the ritual a few times, and you also mentioned something that I really like, the fact that it's sort of meditative.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what the ritual is. So, I haven't made a decent video in a couple of months, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that, everybody. I apologize. One of my script ideas, though, is the idea that one of the problems I feel like we're running into in society, we're gonna get in one of those conversations. Oh boy, here we go. One of the problems with society right now is our brains are just overwhelmed with these endorphin hits and these hits of chemicals from our brains from constant stimulation at all times. You're staring at one of these, your phone, and you're looking at the TV, and you have the radio going, you have your laptop on, and you're constantly bombarded with all of this stimulation that gives you this nonstop chemical hit. That's the reason people can't even go to bed without staring at their phone for an hour first.
Yeah.
And that's why they get terrible sleep. With a pipe, it takes you back to a more meditative state, because you have to slow down.
Yeah.
You can't, you have to, like, you're right, you have to pack the bowl correctly. You have to light it correctly. You got to slow down your breathing to get the cadence of the correct, way to smoke your pipe. And even then, if you want to just dig into the flavors of the pipe, you have to slow down even further and get into a different state of mind to be able to pull these things out. Or you have a pipe over a good book. It's a completely different state of mind, different meditative state of mind almost, than, surfing the internet or watching something on Netflix.
Absolutely.
So it's no wonder that people who get into it are we are hooked, but not on the nicotine, on the way it actually changes our behavior, slows us down, makes us into a better version of ourselves in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. And I think that's a big part of why I think if you talk to a lot of old time pipe smokers, I think a lot of people will agree that there are even some great health benefits to pipe smoking. Like, obviously, again, right off the bat, everything with moderation, right? If you overdo anything and abuse the heck out of anything, then there's going to be consequences. Duh, we all get that. But if you're doing this within reason and enjoying it and being casual about it, again, just the nature of pipe smoking. I mean, you could argue that with a lot of things. The nature of anything that's going to help you relax, help you stress less, help you, think and use your brain and meditate and just enjoy a moment where you're not stressing out is going to be beneficial to your health and to your life. And that's what pipe smoking definitely offers a lot of people. This world's crazy, man. Look at the last couple of years we've all been through, dude. It's a mess out there, right? And we're all dealing with different crazy stress. So to have something as simple as pipe smoking to escape all this insane stress in this world, how could that not be a benefit, And again, sure, take care of your gums, brush your teeth, take care of your gum health, don't overdo it. Don't inhale that smoke, of course, pay attention to all that stuff. Because there is always going to be some risks, with that. But I think, I don't know about you. I as I got into pipe smoking over the last few months, I've been looking at a lot of information on like pipe smoking and your health. And it's kind of an overwhelming amount of studies that have been done that basically say that they really can't link a lot of health issues and deaths and stuff to pipe smoking.
Right.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, I encourage everyone, dig around and look at that info. It's pretty nuts. Like, you can absolutely link a lot of health issues and disease and cancer and deaths to cigarette smoking. We know that. Everyone knows that without a doubt. Mm-hmm. But pipe smoking is a whole different animal. It is not the same at all. And again, in fact, we all, I think a lot of us, I'm learning it now. There are a lot of health benefits to it. There really are. It's amazing how much better you can feel sometimes just disconnecting for 40 minutes and smoking a pipe, just getting away from our crazy worlds,
Yeah, no, totally. So, Droid Little says he just packed some Gowith and Hogarth Dark Bird's Eye. Let me know how that is. I haven't had that one yet.
Neither have I. Haven't heard of
Troy
it.
Troy Darusha says he always forgets to brush his tooth. So, Troy, brush that tooth. You don't want to lose the last one. Um, and Andrew Jennings says he got a little Elizabethan and some Jameson on the back porch. And man, that is a great way to spend a Friday. That sounds
Nice.
amazing. I love it. So here's something else. I did another poll on what people like to drink when they have their pipe, and this one
Yeah.
surprised me. So this one actually surprised me a little bit, and I do want to bring up the results on this poll. So real quick, I'm gonna kill everybody's time and try and bring this up real quick because these were some results that did genuinely surprise me. Let's see, 1 second here. I know this is very exciting. So basically, while that's loading, internet connections. I asked what you drink with your when you're having a pipe. Do you have coffee, iced tea, water, or whiskey? I should have included beer. I didn't include beer. But the results, let's see. So here it is. Okay. 19% said coffee. Um, 33% said water. 38% said tea. And only 10% said whiskey. And that surprised me because I thought whiskey would be a lot higher. There was one comment that said they drink beer. I usually don't drink beer with a pipe. I think the carbonation sort of gives me more of a bite than I would normally have. But I love a whiskey with my pipe. I think I'll have a different whiskey blend. Whether it's a Scotch or a whiskey or an Irish whiskey. I think I'll have a different one of those based on the tobacco I'm having, and it brings out a lot of different notes to that tobacco. What do you usually have when you smoke?
So the majority of the time, I'll make myself a little mixed rum drink. So maybe just like a couple shots and ginger ale or something like that. It's one of my favorite little pirate mixed drinks, if you want to call it that, because I love rums. I'm not a big drinker. And I definitely don't drink a lot of hard alcohol at all, but I do love rum, some different rums. So that'll be another little treat I'll do sometimes when I'm smoking my pipe. So I'll have a little rum drink, or I will have a beer, or I'll just have water. Those are kind of my three go-tos: beer and water and stuff.
Yeah, in fact.
Hey Wes, can you hold on 1 second? I'll be right back. Just a couple seconds. So sorry, man. I'll be right back.
So let's see. We have LETN. I'm guessing Ellie is from Tennessee. Says that they're having nightcap with some hot cocoa, and that sounds awesome. I never thought about hot cocoa, but I totally get it. It's a little hot right now in Central Ohio, so I might go for some cool cocoa rather than hot cocoa. But that sounds awesome. Troy also says coffee. Droid Little says coffee. What do you think about coffee versus iced coffee? So with aromatics, I actually like an iced coffee with an aromatic. I think they really complement each other well. In fact, when so Smoking Pipes around St. Patrick's Day was giving out their St. Patrick's Day blend from C&D if you bought a new pipe. So of course, I'm a sucker, so I bought a new Peterson pipe and got a tin of this aromatic blend, St. Patrick's Day blend. And I crack open this blend, and it just blasted me in the face with vanilla and Irish cream. And I was almost afraid. Like, it was really, really powerful. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. And I lit it up, and it was actually a really mellow, mild smoke. But my second or third bowl I had with an iced coffee. And man, those two things together were amazing. They were so good. That iced coffee with a good aromatic, that's where it's at. So you guys are right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem at all. And Blake says that he usually does iced tea or water. And I totally agree. Actually, I was going to say, when I'm having a new blend that I've never had before, I'll usually have a water so that I can kind of cleanse my palate a little bit between puffs. And that's typically the way that I go.
So
Yeah.
I started having rum drinks because I was buying all these tobaccos that had rum flavor added to them, right? And I got to tell you, it was actually really awesome to take a sip of a rum drink and then take a little puff of the rum tobacco. It really, it enhanced the flavor a lot. I don't know if I was necessarily picking up a rum flavor from the tobacco, but every time I took a drink of that rum drink and then took a puff, the smoke just tasted so much better. It was like just like a flavor explosion every time. And so I really thought those paired well together. But I get what you're saying too about drinking water, because if you really want to taste a new blend and you don't want to like just like kill the flavor of the beer or something like that. You want to just drink some water so you can really taste that blend. I totally understand that. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. That's where I go. So yeah, I was just talking about the that St. Patrick's Day blend that just blasted me with vanilla and Irish cream, and it was perfect with an iced coffee. So yeah, mix it up, drink what you like, and smoke what you like, and you're gonna have the best experience ever. And that's the funny thing. So I think with a lot of like new pipe smokers, especially, like they'll watch some of these OG guys who have their routines and they have their favorites, and when you've been doing this a while, you tend to get a little opinionated. Like you're like, okay, if you don't like this blend or if you don't like this style, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about, because I've been doing this forever and I think it's the best. Look, you got to smoke what you like. You know what I mean? Smoke what makes you happy.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. So I know I sent you a question about that, like what do you drink when you're smoking? But I had a second part to that question too that I've been curious about, because I've heard sort of mixed things about this, but I'm just curious. Have you heard that it can be, I guess, dangerous or not good to drink alcohol while you're smoking? Like there's something about the alcohol can cause your mouth to like, I guess, absorb the chemicals or whatever in the tobacco that can like absorb into your bloodstream more and cause you some more issues. I don't know. I remember hearing something about that where the alcohol can break down your natural, like, I guess if you want to say like a mucus layer in your throat and in your mouth. That's a natural protective layer that we have in our throats.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you smoke, that protective mucus layer isn't there anymore, and the smoke can kind of penetrate more and possibly cause issues. And I was just wondering if you'd heard about that or what your thoughts were on that.
I've never heard that. I do know, obviously alcohol is a solvent. So, I mean, it will break down into any sort of mucus layer that you have covering your mucosal membranes in your mouth and your throat. But I've never actually heard that. Alcohol is also a vasodilator, so maybe it could affect the way that your body absorbs nicotine faster. But that'd be an interesting question for like a doctor. We should find like a good medical expert. I do know that. Do you ever watch the Spurgeon Piper? Everybody watches Spurgeon Piper. This guy's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So he actually has a couple interviews with a doctor on his channel that maybe they talk about that. I have to go back and rewatch those videos. And that brings up another great question.
Tell you the truth, that might have been where
Okay, maybe that's where
might have been where I heard it, because I did watch those videos.
Yeah. Right. So that brings up another good question. And you can't say me. Who's your favorite YouTube presenter?
Just in the pipe community?
In the pipe world, yeah.
Wow. Okay. I am loving Edwin right now, and you turned me on to him.
Yeah.
I love Edwin. He's so positive. Like you can't watch that guy and not have a better day afterward, right? He's just so positive.
He's so uplifting. Cool. Yeah,
he is. He's so excited about showing his pipes and the wood grain in the pipes, and it gets me excited.
Yeah. Oh, your video froze for a second. Oh, You're cutting out there a little bit.
Oh,
But
I was gonna say every time he has that. Uh,
no, you're
hello.
every time you start talking,
Oh,
your audio cuts out. I apologize.
I think
All right.
I think I lost you. Are
Nope,
you there
nope. I
now?
got you. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you now. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
cool. Yeah. So, all right. So Edwin. So he's just very positive. He's a great guy. I mean, he just seems like the kind of guy you want to hang out with. And for everybody watching and listening
Totally.
who don't
Yeah.
know, this is he's on YouTube. Edwin Pipe-Cigars, or
Yeah.
Edwin Cigars Pipes. One of those. Let me look it up real quick. But
I think. Yeah. I think Edwin Pipe-Cigars. I think.
yeah, let's
But
see.
yeah,
Here we go.
every
Edwin
single
Pipe-Cigars.
Tuesday. I'm sorry. Go ahead and say that again.
No, you're right though. Edwin Pipe-Cigars.
Cool.
So I mean, great guy, very uplifting. Nobody can see this; I got the lights in the way. But so yeah, every Tuesday he does New Pipe Tuesday, and
Yeah.
I want to see his whole collection because he's been doing this since February, I
Really?
think. And every Tuesday he's
Yeah.
getting a new pipe. Like,
Crazy. I know he must seriously have like 100 pipes or something. It's nuts. But it's fun. It's yeah. It's always really fun, and exciting to watch him because he's. Are you there? Oh,
yeah, I'm here.
did I lose you again?
I got you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he's so excited about showing his new pipes and showing the wood grain, and I'm just excited to try all these new blends. And it's kind of cool because it's again as kind of a new piper, it's exposing me to all these new blends that he's trying and stuff, and it's just fun. He's very positive and very fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of my favorite channels are Edwin Pipe-Cigars,
Yeah,
JC Pipes and Knives. He commented
yeah.
earlier, so I was really happy to see him on here. JC is awesome. His reviews are spot on every time.
He's great. JC's
Um,
great.
Spurgeon Piper, another one of my favorites. He's just such a nice guy. So he's also a preacher. The Spurgeon thing is like a type of denomination.
Yeah,
So he's like a preacher, but like a lot of these guys just seem like really nice, genuinely good guys that you want to go and have a beer with.
totally.
But
Yeah, you wish you could just sit down and have a smoke with them and stuff. Like there's so many great pipe channels out there, and I mean
yeah,
the whole community. Your channel and a lot of the other channels that I've found, it's like everyone feels like friends. Everyone feels like we're just this tight community that we all just get each other, and it's just great. I love that about it, and it really is. It's such a giving community. All these channels I watch, there's people that are like sending in tobaccos to different people and doing giveaways and sharing hard to get tobaccos, because I think we all know that there's these small batch tobaccos and all this stuff that is like really hard to get sometimes, or even tobaccos that are discontinued, and it's really cool to see some of these people share some of these elusive tobaccos with other
right.
people, sharing the love a little bit. And I don't know, it really is a great community. Very cool.
It really, really is. So again, last week we had Dr. Alan Harrelson, and listen to this man speak. It's like I call him doctor like out of respect now, just because like he is one of the best speakers. First of all, he has the best accent in the entire pipe community.
Oh, totally.
Like,
Yeah.
I've mentioned this to you before, and I was afraid to even joke about this because I don't know how well he takes. I don't know. I'm sure he takes jokes very well, but like when I was speaking to you offline, I mentioned he kind of sounded like he was trying to do like a deeper Southern accent. Like he tried to do like a Leonardo DiCaprio's character from Django Unchained, but like his accent is amazing,
Yeah.
and he's so well spoken, and he's so like thoughtful about the words and the phrases and the terms that he uses
Yeah.
when he speaks that like you can't help but like just soak in everything that he says. So the Pipe Cottage, also one of my favorite channels, and actually he's going to come here to Columbus next Friday. So I won't be doing one of these lives next Friday. I'm going to be at the pipe show. Do you ever have any pipe shows or conventions or anything like that out where you are?
There's got to be. We have like everything out here in California. There's conventions going on all the time. It's ridiculous. But I'll be honest, I haven't even looked that up, and it's something I really am interested in checking out, because I've watched some videos on some of these channels of these guys going to these pipe conventions, and it looks so fun. I mean, just booth after booth after booth of amazing pipes, and artisan pipes and a big tent where people get together and smoke their pipes and share blends and talk about it. It just looks like a really fun event. So I haven't looked that up yet, but I'm going to, and I really would love to attend one of those conventions. I think it'd be a blast.
Oh man,
Absolutely.
yeah. This is gonna be my first, and it's gonna be next Friday. So Michael Chilton
So cool.
says that you turned him on to Mutton Chop Piper, and yeah, his videos they'll be classics forever. Mutton Chop Piper, and I'm hoping. So I think he lives in maybe Illinois. I know he lives in this general vicinity of the world, and I'm hoping he comes to the Columbus Pipe Show because he's like everybody's idol. If he got a table and sold autographs, like he could legitimately sell autographs. Here's another one in the comments. Blake, MDCCCXXVII. I'm terrible at Roman numerals, but he says he's done a fair amount of discontinued tobacco reviews, and that's something else that's cool. Wow. Like, think about all the older tobaccos that you can't get anymore. That you have, luckily, you have channels like Blake's that review these things. You can see what they were actually like.
Yeah,
a lot of the McClellan stuff like that. I've had, luckily, I had a friend a few months ago who gave me a little bit of Frogmorton Cellar, and that was my first time having it. And, I could do a review on it, but I don't think I could do the review justice because I haven't had it like in its prime. You know what I mean? I've had it like it's been aged a little bit, and it has this sort of mystique about it. So I'm afraid almost my review might be tainted by the sort of aura of Frogmorton. You know what I mean?
I don't know anything about Frogmorton, but I hear everybody rave about Frogmorton and how sad they are it's gone. And there's all these people trying to find replacements for Frogmorton, like what tastes like it, and what compares to Frogmorton. Yeah, it's this crazy thing everyone always talks about, but I really don't know much about it.
Right, exactly. So so go on Blake's channel. That's Blake MDCCCXXVII. Again, Roman numerals. But he apparently does a lot of the classic, discontinued tobacco reviews, which is awesome. That's so cool.
That's super cool. Yeah.
So we've been going for a while. Again, one of the things we spoke about last week was, some of the rules and regulations and laws that might be changing. Taxes might be changing on getting tobacco. Are you planning on just stocking up on anything specific? Like, if you could stock up on one thing, first of all, if you could stock up on one blend ever and get as much as you could, what would it be? 2, is there anything that you can currently get that you're planning on stocking up just in case anything goes down with taxes or laws?
Oh man, I don't know if I have an absolute number one favorite blend at this point. I've got like some top blends, but you know I love Pirate Cake, man. I love Pirate Cake. It is ridiculous. So I would absolutely be stocking up on that, which I've already got a couple extra tins of that put away. But I found so many other tobaccos I love. I have like if I were to go through, I actually have some written down here. Like, if we were going to go in just a couple categories, like, of some of my favorites, like if we're talking English blends right now, definitely Pirate Cake, C&D's Black Frigate. I love Black Frigate. I love the Captain Earl's blends that I've had, like Private Stock. And I really love that Dan Tobacco Old Ironside is amazing.
Yeah.
And I really like GLP's Sextant is a really good one too, as far as an English blend.
Right.
I really love HH Old Dark Fired. I stocked up on some of that.
Right, that's a great one.
Really, really good. I love HH Old Dark Fired. I like GLP's Windjammer, Sixpence, and Navigator are all really good ones for Virginias. Mm-hmm. And I just recently tried Salty Dogs, which is pretty awesome. And C&D's Blockade Runner is good.
Right.
Those are all some of my favorites right now. And there's some aromatics too that I really like the Black Spice that I sent you. That was Sutliff Black Spice, and I really like the Barbados Plantation is a really good one too.
Oh, that's so good. It's wet and sticky, but you dry that stuff out just right. Man, that's a good blend.
It's awesome, yeah. And I liked East India Trading Company. has a couple really good blends, aromatic blends. They have one called Officers Club that I really like. So as far as aromatics go, so yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to narrow it down to my favorites, and then I really am gonna stock up on most of those because, like you just said, we don't know. We don't know what the future holds. I don't know if next year a tin of tobacco is going to cost $70.
It might.
I know, and it's scary. I mean, the UK is that way, Canada's that way, and we might be next. So, and again, like Alan, like Dr. Alan mentioned in your last video, that's what's keeping our hobby alive. If we buy more tobaccos and we buy more pipes and we support this hobby and we support this lifestyle, if we support this, that's what's going to keep it going. That's what's going to keep it alive. So I know I've watched these videos of these guys that have these insane cellars, man. They just like have piles and piles and piles of tobacco. And I'm like, these guys are nuts, man. These guys are hoarders. This is ridiculous. But at the same time, man, those guys are really keeping this hobby alive. Those guys are doing their part to keep this alive. So I can't, and again, you might not be able to get that tobacco next year. So they'll have it. They'll have a rad stockpile, for the future. So I can't even knock it. I feel like that's awesome, man. If you can do it, stock up, go for it.
Absolutely. And, aside from the extra regulations and the taxes, you brought up something else. Like, you don't know if that company is going to be around next year. I mean, as legendary as the Frog-Morton series is, who would have thought McClellan would just disappear? Yep. I'll bet if people knew, they would have stocked up a lot sooner before everything disappeared.
Yeah.
But sure. Hypothetically, what if GLPs went out of business next month? You don't know. I mean, you hope not. And actually, I'm trying. I have a few messages going back and forth between Greg Peace and myself. I'm trying to get him on a stream. Oh, wow. So hopefully we can lock that down.
I am really loving all the GLPs blends that I've tried so far. They're literally some of my favorites. I love them. They're really good.
Yeah. Oh, definitely one of the best companies out there. So
yeah.
Let's see. So LATN says that the Greater Kansas Pipe Show is on September 17th. If you guys are in the area, the Greater Kansas Pipe Show. I don't know the date, so here it is. Blake mentioned the Vegas Pipe Show, October 19th through 22nd. Man, I would love to go to that. If I didn't have a day job, I mean, I would be there in a minute. So funny thing, I've been to Vegas a few times for different conventions and shows and things like that. I'm not a gambler. I'm not into that. I just can't bring myself to just lay down money on a table and just lose it in a minute. So I don't gamble. But the few times I've been to Vegas, I never left the hotel. I only stayed at the convention. I was doing my thing. There's so much to do everywhere you go. And I know if I went to Vegas for a pipe show, I would lose so much money. Not on gambling, but on tobacco and pipes. I'd blow my life savings. So maybe that's
which is awesome. At least you leave with something. Most people leave Vegas with nothing.
Fair point. Exactly. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, especially your paycheck.
That's right. So Wes, let me throw that question back at you because it was one of the questions I had for you. So what are like your top blends right now that are your favorites that you would stock up on?
Sure. So like I said earlier, one of my favorite go-tos, just everyday, easy to find go-to is going to be Loch Ness. It's cool. Not hard to find. You can get it pretty much everywhere, and I could smoke this all day, every day. But so some others that I really, really like, and I don't know if I like this one so much because it's harder to find or because it's genuinely that good, which is the Luxury Bullseye Flake. So it's a coin shape. It's a vapor in a coin shape, and the core of the coin is just a little bit of Cavendish, black Cavendish. So as you're smoking it, you get this just little bits of sweetness throughout the smoke. And based on how you pack your pipe with it, it's going to have a completely different experience. So if you rub it out and you break it up and then you stuff your pipe, it's one thing. But if you fold it and stuff it in there, periodically you're going to hit that Cavendish about halfway through, and it's a whole different flavor experience from that point on. So it's one of my favorites. I bought a pound of this stuff about a year ago, and I want to smoke more of it, but I don't want to like go through it too fast because you can't get
Yeah.
it. It's harder to find.
Yeah. You sent me a little bit of that, and I was
Yeah.
stoked because that stuff is always sold out. It's so hard to get.
It is.
And when it shows up, people buy it in like 2 seconds. It's gone, you know. So yeah, you sent me a decent amount of it, and I've been really enjoying it, man. It's really good stuff.
Yeah, and you know, I like to try the different, more interesting things sometimes. And here's one that I really wanted to try. I'm not going to share my screen because I don't want to mess up my whole setup I got here. If you go to smokingpipes.com and you go to tobacco, then go down to recently added, they have these little plugs. They look like little cigars. They're probably about 2 inches, and
Oh yeah.
basically it's a kind of a plug of tobacco wrapped like a cigar. And let's see, what do they call them? Now, if you speak French, don't judge me. Les bouchons. I think it says somewhere in here that means cork. So basically, how you're supposed to smoke this is you get this kind of little cigar. You're supposed to just kind of wet the end like you would a cigar, right? And then you
Okay.
just stick it in your pipe. And the
What?
basically, right, you just stick it in your pipe like a little tiny cigar, and you kind
Really?
of cut the end, like a little X in the end, and then you light it,
Okay.
and you're basically smoking this little tiny cigar out of the top of your pipe. And I really
Oh
wish
my
I could have
God.
tried these, but I guess these sold out in like a minute. So Smoking
Oh
Pipes.
no.
So if you go to smokingpipes.com and go to recently added, you can still see this on the recently added list, and you can
Yeah.
see the full description on there. It technically falls into the cigar family, but you're supposed to smoke it through a pipe. And man, I wanted to try this so bad. I was so disappointed it sold out so fast.
Dude, I had no idea what those were. I saw because I'm on their email list, so I got an email and I saw that picture, and it almost looks like a cigar box they're in, right?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And they're almost a triangular shape. It's weird. They're kind of like these stubby little. They sort of
little
look like a
cigars.
cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they almost have these weird triangular shape, and I'm like, what the heck do you even do with those things? I had no idea that you stuff those into a pipe. That's so weird, man. But
Right.
cool. What a cool thing.
It's super cool. So as a joke, kind of what I wanted to do, so again, I'm big into pipes, cigar smoking also. I just want to
Yeah.
get like a cigar and just like stuff it in the end of a pipe and smoke a cigar through my pipe just to see the experience. I don't know. Maybe I'll use a pipe that I don't mind smelling like cigar smoke, but I think that'd be fun.
Dude, I want to see you do that. I think you should do that right now, live.
You think I should go get a cigar and
I think
light
you
it?
should stuff a cigar in a pipe and do it right now, man. I want to see that.
All right. I can do that. Okay. If you want to keep talking for a minute, I'll go grab a cigar. Let's make it happen. We're at the end of the show. We're killing time. Let's do it.
Yeah, whatever. Oh my gosh. I love that pirate flag, by the way. That's so cool. Oh man. Well, I hope everyone's having fun on this Friday night and enjoying our babbling. Well, my babbling. Probably getting useful information from West and a bunch of babbling from me, but but yeah, this has been a blast for me. My pipe journey. I have only a couple friends who smoke pipes, and they're really new. They're even kind of more new than I am. But we've been going on this journey together, and it's just been really fun learning all about this, you know. So I don't know. I hope that even some of the things that I've said are helpful, even to some, you know, other people that are just starting off their journey. Because it's just one of those things you got to dive into it and just do it and just kind of figure out what works for you and figure out what tastes you like and what flavors you like, what type of tobaccos you like, what pipes work best for you, you know. And but yeah, I don't know. It's been a blast. It really has. And it's fun. It's always fun to have some friends to go on this journey with, you know. I know my buddy Mike's out there watching. I'm so glad he's gotten into this now, and we're kind of sharing notes now, swapping notes and talking about tobacco. So it's just been it's been a real fun journey for me. And I just, every day I'm learning more about it. So I hope even some of the things that I've talked about have been helpful. I know everything that West talks about is helpful, most of my stuff that comes out of my mouth is useless, but you know, but at least I got cool hair. Come on, Wes.
It's true. I gotta make up for the mohawk. I need a cool mohawk like that. I know.
So what'd you get?
So I got a nice Ashton here.
Whoa, that's
Maybe I
a
should have got a
fatty.
little. Maybe I should have got a little less nice cigar for this, but that's fine. It's a good cigar. We're gonna make it work. It's a fun night. Okay. Now I gotta find a pipe this is gonna fit into nice and tight.
That looks like you're gonna need a big pipe for that, man. That thing looks huge.
Well, so this is. Let's see. So this is what I'm gonna be smoking tonight. Let's see if.
That's ridiculous. I love it.
It's so ridiculous. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna light the cigar separately. Then I'm gonna jam it in this pipe. And
all right.
I'm sure all the cigar aficionados out there are just cringing that I'm doing this. We're gonna make this happen though. So
this is good though, man. This is like a train wreck in the waiting. I love it.
So when lighting a cigar, there's also a ritual lighting a cigar that not a lot of people really follow. But you got to toast the end when you're lighting a cigar.
Oh.
Now I'm doing it wrong. You're really not supposed to let the flame touch the cigar, but we're trying to speed this up a little bit for the sake of the show.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about smoking cigars.
Okay, there we go.
All right. You know, one other great thing about pipe smoking, it is so much more affordable than smoking cigars. Holy smokes. Dude.
No, a tin of tobacco.
Crazy.
A tin of tobacco is going to cost you, $15.
Yeah.
That's one cigar.
Right.
Here we go. Let's make this happen.
Yes. I love it. It's working.
Look, out of everything that I'm known for, now that I'm known as the guy who smokes cigars through pipes.
That's got to be your new logo right there. You got to turn that into some artwork.
Yeah, so for all of you pipe purists or cigar purists, look, we're all part of the same family. Let's make it happen.
All right, you need to go to that pipe convention coming up and walk around like that and see how many people just give you dirty looks. And
I need to go to my local B&M smoke shop, get a really nice cigar, and just jam it in the end of a pipe.
That'd be awesome, dude. I love it.
It's good luck. Look,
it's
works.
Working.
It works.
Yeah,
it
totally
fine.
works. So does it taste any different going through your pipe?
Not at all. Actually, you know what? Maybe a little bit. The smoke is a little bit cooler. I think that makes sense. The smoke is a little bit cooler. So because of that, I am getting a little bit more like, look, I know we talked about what BS this was earlier, but I'm getting a little more chocolate, a little more coffee out of the cigar than I think I normally would. Yeah. I'm actually getting more flavor out of this because the smoke is a lot cooler. That's pretty interesting.
I mean, honestly, whatever about all that. You just look badass doing it, so that's all that counts.
Look, I promise you, Mutton Chop Piper's never done this. So,
dude, you gotta get some glue on like mutton chops to put on there, and then be smoking that. I think it'd be perfect.
No, I've actually thought about doing an intro to one of my videos with a big fake mutton chops, and going.
That'd be awesome.
Welcome back, YouTube pipe smokers. I got to work on the accent. I got to work on the voice.
Hey, that's pretty good, man. That sounded pretty legit. Hey, I got a cigar question. So, are cigars made with the same type of tobacco leaves that pipe tobacco is made with, or is it totally different flavors and different smells and aromas?
Very different. Yeah, very different tobaccos, very different experience.
Okay.
So have you ever smoked a good premium cigar?
Probably not. I've only smoked a couple cigars in my whole life at like stupid events, bachelor parties or something dumb. And they were, to me, again, because I wasn't a smoker, so they were really like pungent to me. They were pretty gnarly. And anytime anytime I've had someone around me smoking a cigar, I didn't really dig the aroma. But having said that, I haven't been around a cigar smoker since I've really gotten into pipe smoking. Now that I really enjoy these English blends and some of these stronger blends, I was kind of curious if the cigar smoke would be as offensive to me, or maybe not as offensive now that I'm digging this. But it's still, I feel like there's still very different worlds, right? Kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, it's actually completely different type of tobacco.
Okay.
Completely different experience. And the reason I asked is because, you know, when you go out and smoke cigars with your buddies, you come home and you reek. I mean, your clothes they smell. You have to wash them.
Yeah.
You can't just like wear a nice jacket that you plan on wearing to church the next day, because it's going to reek of tobacco. I'm going to have to go old school here. Let me change up my mic real quick so you guys can hear me. 1 second here. All right, how's my audio? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You got my audio?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool, great, okay. So yeah, in fact, one of the blends that I got was, let me find it here. It's over here somewhere. Cornell and Deal's chopped cigar leaf.
Oh yeah.
And they actually sell that, as a pipe blending component. And you know, one thing that you'll notice is if you've had you smoke a little bit of the folklore. One of the flavors that you're going to get out of that is a really nice premium cigar smoke flavor, kind of on the very back end, and towards the bottom of the bowl. And it's something you have to pick out, and it's not. And the funny thing is the way it mixes with the other flavors in the folklore, like the stone fruits and things like that. It tastes like a really, really good premium cigar. It doesn't taste like cheap, you know, chopped cigar leaf. It tastes like you're smoking a really high-end cigar. So very, very different experience.
I know there's that company Warped that makes a lot of different tobaccos, and I know that most of their tobacco blends are made with cigar leaf. And I was kind of interested in maybe even trying one of those just to see, because a lot of people say the cigar leaf isn't overwhelming. It's not, you know, it doesn't like take over the blend, but they notice it in there. They can detect a note of that cigar leaf. But yeah, I know Warped does some blends, and there's some other companies that do tobacco blends that use cigar leaf, which is interesting. But you just shove an entire cigar into your pipe, so you're like, oh, dude, this is the way I do it.
Look, exactly. Look, this is how I roll. You don't like the way I smoke my pipe? That's how I do it. So Droid actually says there are some cigars made with pipe tobacco components, which would be really interesting. I'd love to find out what those are and try those out. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I would totally try that.
Right. So Jeremy Reeves actually agreed to come on live stream in November. So we're going to try and get him around November. And we're going to ask him a lot of his tips and tricks to get, you know, flavors like that out, like what, you know, ratios, because cigar smoke it's pungent. Like, it'll punch you in the face if you're not careful. So I'm guessing a little bit goes a long way, especially, like you said, with the Warped blends, which are great, by the way.
Have you had some of those?
Yeah. In fact, they recently put out that Saint Espresso. Have you had that?
Oh, I saw it, but I didn't get any of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. That was one of their aromatics, and again, that's one of the ones that you'd think would punch you in the face with the aromatic flavor, but you smoke it, and it's actually very mild. So it's funny, you know, you mentioned earlier that you smoke a lot of like rum type tobacco, rum topped tobaccos, and you don't really taste a lot of that. And you know what it reminds me of is on Instagram, there's this guy that, you know, I talk to a lot, and he's like hardcore into this blend called American Delight. And it's an aromatic, and it's cherry. So you open up the tin, and it blasts you in the face with cherry, and it's so much, and it's almost sickening how sweet and chemically it smells. But you smoke it, and I mean, you can't pull very much of that out at all. Almost all that you're getting is from the bowl itself, not necessarily from the smoke.
Yeah, some of those cherry ones are a little much for me. I'm not like super into the berry scented and berry flavored tobaccos, and I'm not really into stuff that's like real flowery or floral. Just not my thing. I had I think it was McBaron's Cherry Ambrosia.
Yeah.
I might have even sent you that or sent you some of that. I don't know. I know I sent you a bunch of different tobaccos, but anyway, I can't remember if that was one of them. It might have been. But I had that one a number of times and it was okay. But man, I had that one back when I didn't know what I was doing, and that thing bit the heck out of my tongue. I mean, it ruined my tongue for like 3 days. I'm not even kidding you. Like, Again, I was an idiot. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just puffing away like crazy on this cherry aromatic, and it was like napalm on my tongue, dude. It's just like that stuff was evil, man. That stuff was crazy. But again, I don't know. Like, I guess like a mild cherry aromatic could be kind of nice. But if it's over the top with that cherry or berry or flowery stuff, I don't know. I feel like for me it's not a great mix with tobacco. I don't know. Just my thing. But
no, you're right though, and that's the funny thing. You mentioned the bite. I've had a lot more bite from any aromatics than I've ever had from an English blend. I mean, head and shoulders above. It's not a competition. So, and that's the funny thing. Even cigars, you don't get bites from cigars. I've never had tongue bite from cigars.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Yeah. Huh.
So I don't know if it's the chemicals that are burning off that are making it. I've heard theories that it's possibly the extra moisture from the toppings and casings that get in there and they'll do the tongue bite. But I'm not a scientist. Who am I to say?
No, I think you're exactly right. I've heard a lot of people talk about that, and it makes sense because of those casings and stuff, and the wetness of it. They just burn a lot hotter, and I know that Virginias can tend to do that too. I still, again, I'm still learning. There's a number of Virginias that I've had that no matter how slow I smoke them, they just burn really hot. I don't really get tongue bite from it. But the bowl will really heat up. It gets pretty hot at times, so I have to like back off a lot. But Englishes, I don't think I ever have that problem with English blends. They almost always burn really nice and cool. The smoke doesn't feel real hot. I've never gotten any tongue bite from any of that. Honestly, I've only gotten tongue bite from aromatics.
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly it. I just feel ridiculous smoking this thing the entire time, but it actually tastes pretty good. I'm pretty happy with what's going on here.
It's kind of awesome, dude. I'm loving it.
Oh man, that's what I'm going to be known for from now on, I'm sure. Oh man. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, we've been going for a couple hours now. So Steve, thanks a lot for coming on, man. It was awesome.
Dude, thanks, man, for having me. I always love talking with you and chatting about this stuff, and it's great to be able to bounce questions off somebody that's been doing this for so long and get some information and feedback and just keep learning about this. I love it, man. I love chatting with you. I wish I could light up a pipe right now. It's killing me, man. I hate that I couldn't have a pipe while we're hanging out, but
yeah, no, totally.
It's fun watching you smoke your cigar, though. That's good.
So it's funny. So in the comments, Alan from the Pipe Cottage chimed in and said he was looking through the comments and he said that Mutton Chop is actually based in Kentucky, not Ohio. So I thought he was in Illinois. Illinois. He's in Kentucky, so that's good to know. Maybe he'll come up for the Columbus Pipe Show. Alan, if you're still watching, thank you, and don't judge me on how I smoke my cigars. Look, we all smoke the way we like. It's surprisingly good. Maybe I'll just recommend doing this from now on. I don't know.
You're a trendsetter, buddy. Everyone's gonna be doing that next week. You watch.
Should I do this at the pipe show? Should I just go out on the deck with everybody else and just jam a cigar in the end of my pipe?
Dude, absolutely. I think you should. I think you should sit out there in the middle of everyone and do that and just wait.
People just look at me like I'm a crazy person.
That'll be awesome, man.
Oh, dude.
I love it.
Well, look, everybody, thanks for watching. Droid, Blake, Michael Chilton, Ellie, everybody. Alan from the Pipe Cottage. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming on. Steve, thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it, man. Talking to you is always fun.
You bet, buddy. And thanks again for having me, man. I always have a blast, and we got to do it again soon.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And everybody watching and listening, seriously, there is, on the social media channels, there's a war on tobacco channels. There are pipe channels, cigar channels. They're just getting blocked and blacklisted left and right. So the best thing you can do, even if you don't do it for this channel, find your favorite pipe channels. Subscribe, like their videos, leave comments, and the best thing you can do for the algorithm is actually recommend the videos to other people that you know, because the algorithm loves that. But even if you don't do it for me, do it for your other favorite presenter, and you will be doing the community a huge favor. Definitely check out Alan Harrelson at the Pipe Cottage. Go to Steve Catronio's page, channel, Grimwood Hollow. Check out the stuff that he makes. Incredible work. Again, Steve, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thanks, buddy. It's a blast, man. Always. Enjoy that cigar.
Oh, dude, I will.
Looking
basically infatuated with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funkin' in the city, funkin' up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funkin' in the city, funkin' up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. And keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funkin' in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool